Google tech workers and their supporters rallied this morning in response to President Trump's new proclamation, adding a $100,000 fee for H-1B visa applications. So if you don't know what that is, an H-1B is a specific type of visa that goes for workers for jobs that require at least a bachelor's degree. So the Alphabet-owned company is one of the top 10 H-1B visa recipient countries in the United States.
For decades, the United States has stood at the pinnacle of global talent attraction, especially in the STEM fields of science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. Its H-1B visa program, though limited in scope, has been a powerful magnet for ambitious professionals from India, China, Eastern Europe, and beyond. The H-1B's allure was simple. It provided a pathway to work at world-class universities, research labs, and tech companies, often serving as the first step toward permanent residency. Generations of immigrant scientists and engineers built their careers on this platform, driving innovation, contributing to Nobel Prize-winning discoveries, and anchoring America's dominance in emerging technologies. Yet the global order of talent mobility is no longer so secure. Rising costs, political debates around immigration, and policy changes have made the H-1B less predictable and, in some cases, less desirable. The United States recently introduced a controversial $100,000 one-time filing fee for new H-1B applications, beginning with the fiscal year 2026 lottery. While justified as a way to curb abuse and finance program modernization, the move has raised alarm among startups, research institutions, and international applicants alike. It effectively raises the barrier to entry and makes it more difficult for smaller employers or cost-sensitive applicants to compete with deep-pocketed multinationals. Into this moment of uncertainty steps China with a carefully timed countermove. In August 2025, Beijing announced the launch of the K visa, a brand new immigration channel explicitly designed to attract foreign STEM talent. Codified in State Council Order No. 814, the regulation amends China's entry and exit laws to create a visa category dedicated to foreign young science and technology talent. The program will officially begin on October 1, 2025. This policy signals a bold intention to make China not just a manufacturing powerhouse, but also a global magnet for brains. For decades, China has battled with brain drain as top students left for the US, UK, Canada, or Australia and often did not return. The K visa is part of a larger reversal strategy. By lowering barriers, easing bureaucracy, and highlighting flexibility, China hopes to persuade a new generation of researchers, professors, and entrepreneurs to consider its universities, labs, and innovation hubs as destinations of choice. Applicants will be required to hold at least a bachelor's degree from a recognized university, and they must show active involvement in research, teaching, or professional activity in science and technology. Crucially, they will not need employer sponsorship, a condition that often ties visa holders in the US to a single company and limits their career mobility. Early reporting suggests that K visas will allow multiple entries, longer validity periods, and extended stays. Holders may engage not only in research, but also in entrepreneurial activities, educational exchange, and even cultural or business endeavors. The idea is to provide a holistic gateway into China's ecosystem rather than a narrowly defined work permit. This stands in sharp contrast to the H-1B, which has long been restrictive. The American system requires employer sponsorship, caps annual visas at $85,000, and ties the visa holder's status directly to a specific employer and role. The new $100,000 filing fee only compounds the sense of rigidity. Where the American approach emphasizes control and limitation, China is positioning itself as open, flexible, and cost-effective. The timing could hardly be more strategic. With the H-1B system under strain, many global researchers and innovators are reevaluating their options. A brilliant young computer scientist in Bangalore, who might once have pinned all hopes on winning the H-1B lottery, may now find China's offer compelling. A Nigerian biotech researcher considering where to pursue postdoctoral opportunities might weigh the prestige of a U.S. lab against the lower cost and relative simplicity of China's K-visa. For a Ukrainian AI engineer displaced by war, China may represent stability and opportunity without the red tape of Western immigration systems. China's ambitions here go far beyond individual cases. The K-visa is part of the country's talent power strategy, an overarching national plan to elevate human capital as the driver of innovation and self-reliance. Chinese policymakers understand that world-class technology does not emerge solely from infrastructure or state subsidies. It requires access to diverse pools of global expertise. By creating a clear pathway for international researchers, China is investing in the raw material of innovation: people. The global implications are profound. If China succeeds in attracting even a modest percentage of the talent that would otherwise flow to the US or Europe, the balance of innovation could shift. Breakthroughs in artificial intelligence, quantum computing, renewable energy, or life sciences may increasingly be made in Beijing, Shenzhen, or Shanghai rather than Palo Alto or Boston.
Yet, the K-visa is not without challenges. For one, many details remain vague. What counts as young talent? Will there be age limits, and if so, how strict? Which universities are recognized? Will only elite institutions like Oxford, MIT, and IIT qualify, or will regional schools be included? How will applications be judged, purely on merit or with political considerations in play? Until these details are clarified by Chinese embassies and consulates, uncertainty will remain. There are also deeper systemic issues. China has long been criticized for bureaucratic hurdles in its visa system, inconsistent enforcement across provinces, and sudden regulatory shifts that catch foreigners off guard. Even if the K-visa is generous on paper, its success will depend on smooth implementation and transparency. Renewals, tax obligations, and pathways to residency will all determine whether international professionals view it as viable for the long term. Another challenge is retention. Attracting talent is one thing, keeping it is another. Will international researchers have access to adequate funding, laboratories, and collaborative networks? Will they enjoy the same degree of academic freedom they might in Western institutions? How will their families fare in terms of visas, schooling, and integration? Without attention to these questions, the K-visa risks becoming a revolving door for short-term stays rather than a pipeline for long-term commitment. Perceptions also matter. Despite China's rising influence, many Western academics remain wary of censorship, political interference, and intellectual property risks. For some, working in China might feel like stepping into an environment where their research could be monitored or restricted. Overcoming such skepticism will be crucial if China wants the K-visa to appeal to top-tier global talent, rather than primarily attracting those priced out of Western options. There is also the possibility of geopolitical backlash. The United States, the European Union, and other governments may interpret the K-visa as part of a broader effort by China to acquire sensitive knowledge. This could lead to tighter restrictions on academic collaboration, visa vetting, or joint research projects involving Chinese institutions. Ironically, while China opens its doors, other countries may close theirs, complicating the flows of exchange that the K-visa is designed to promote. Still, the opportunities are considerable. China already hosts some of the fastest rising universities in the world. Tsinghua and Peking University consistently climb global rankings. Government-backed labs in quantum science, clean energy, and artificial intelligence are flush with funding. For a young researcher with big ambitions but limited options in the West, the chance to lead a lab or spearhead a project in China could be enticing. Entrepreneurs also stand to benefit. Cities like Shenzhen and Hangzhou are vibrant hubs for hardware startups, fintech ventures, and e-commerce platforms. With a K-visa, a foreign founder might enter China without prearranged sponsorship, meet investors, and tap into one of the largest consumer markets in the world. In theory, the visa could open the door to a new wave of international startups rooted in China but serving global markets.
Such scenarios are aspirational, of course, but they illustrate the potential for the K visa to catalyze new patterns of collaboration and innovation. The ripple effects are likely to extend beyond China. Other nations will not sit still as Beijing sharpens its competitive edge. The European Union may accelerate improvements to the EU Blue Card, which already provides a relatively accessible route for skilled workers. The UK, with its global talent visa, will continue to market itself as a flexible and innovation-friendly destination. Singapore, South Korea, and Japan, each with ambitions to become regional innovation hubs, may fine-tune their immigration policies to prevent a brain drain toward China. The K visa could thus spark a wider global race to attract the brightest minds, a contest where immigration policy becomes as critical as tax policy or trade agreements. For the United States, the stakes are particularly high. If the H-1B continues to harden into a costly, restrictive system, while China offers a cheaper and more flexible alternative, Washington risks losing its competitive edge. Already, American universities are struggling with declining international enrollment in some graduate programs. If researchers begin choosing Beijing over Boston or Shenzhen over San Francisco, the long-term impact on America's innovation ecosystem could be profound. Yet prestige still matters. Many of the world's brightest minds remain drawn to the US and Europe for the cultural environment, research funding, and perceived openness of inquiry. China must do more than offer visas. It must build an ecosystem where scholars feel intellectually free and professionally secure. If it can strike this balance, the K visa could become a powerful tool of soft power, reshaping perceptions of China as not only a manufacturing giant, but also an innovation superpower. As the October 1 rollout approaches, the world will watch closely. The true measure of success will not be the number of visas issued, but the caliber of the individuals who choose China. Will the K visa attract top researchers in artificial intelligence, biotechnology, and climate science? Will it inspire diaspora professionals to return and contribute to China's rise? Or will it primarily serve as an option for those excluded from Western systems, leaving prestige flows unchanged? The answers will take years to unfold, but one thing is already clear. In a world where talent is the most valuable currency of innovation, immigration policy is geopolitics. Every visa counts, and every policy decision shapes the global balance of scientific and technological power. By unveiling the K visa at this moment of American uncertainty, China has placed a bold bet on its future. Whether that bet pays off may define the next chapter of the global innovation race.